one of the things that being an adult you get to have is experience. You get to have experience in your life. And, I lost my mom a few years back, and even at the moment when, at least when I thought she was passing, which she lived another 7 weeks, but even at that moment, I was mature enough and experienced enough as a human being to start trying my best to process it, because I knew that if I can process it as fast as possible, I would be on that road faster. And, and that's why my wife was like, Kevin, you don't need to process this right now. Don't even, just try maybe not speaking. So as an adult, and you're granted experience, and along with experience comes, more importantly, is perspective. And that's what I really want to talk about today. High school students are not yet experienced in their life yet. They've been on this world at maximum 17, 18 years. Not a lot of time, right? Especially when they're children. So how can high school students gain perspective in order to help them through difficult and challenging times in their life? There are a few ways. Some of them are easier than others, and some of them are maybe less impactful than others. One of the easier ways is to try to take on a leadership role in some sort. And this doesn't have to be in an extracurricular activity, which I've done a video actually previously. If you want to check out, that's over here. It doesn't have to be formal, but if there is a person that is sitting alone at lunch, maybe the one student wants to actually be courageous and just go sit with that person and have lunch. And no matter what their other friends will think of them. Maybe it's when the teacher asks for a volunteer to walk somebody to the nurse or something stupid, right? That, just those simple everyday type of leadership activities. Like I said, it doesn't have to be the vice president of the honor society, blah, blah, blah. It can be, certainly. But stepping up, I think, is one way to gain some extra perspective in their lives. Number two, I think, is really a little bit even more effective, and that is to travel. When I lived in Belgium for a year, that was the most life-transforming year of my life. The most unbelievable year that I am so fortunate to have had, because it has completely transformed everything I know about the world, myself, how I operate in the world, what is possible. And that's because I was so outside of my comfort zone. That was because I was in a country that I couldn't even speak the language. So every day there was challenges that I had to work through and persevere. And that was just amazing. Being able to see other cultures, being able to see how other people live and think and work. And I think if a high school student has any type of opportunity to travel, they really should do it. And it might be hard for them. It might be a lot of I don't know. And it might be as simple as going on a family vacation, which if they're lucky enough to go travel abroad, then that's great. If it's a school trip, and they're deciding whether or not to go, they really should decide to go outside. Yes, it might be scary, and that's the whole point. If it's a school trip that they need to, some type of thing that they need to get into and either get accepted to or audition to, then they should absolutely do it. And even then, it's going to cost some money. It is invaluable money. It's 100% worth it. And I can't sit here and tell you why it's going to be worth it exactly, but I just told you quite a few reasons about why it was worth it to me, but I didn't know. I just knew I had to do it. So definitely get out and see the world. Number three, I also think is even more powerful, and maybe the most powerful, is to volunteer. Because being able to volunteer probably won't cost you anything, and it's much more accessible, but it's much more powerful in gaining perspective, because usually you're volunteering for somebody who doesn't have, or something that doesn't have as many resources and as many opportunities as you, the child or the student, has. I myself have to do. I have to step up my volunteer game. I'll be 100% honest with you. But anytime I have done anything as formal as, volunteer at this organization, at this place for this, blah, 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 or as simple as help somebody that's homeless, that's hungry, and buy them an egg sandwich from Dunkin' Donuts. I mean, it's a great feeling. And it's not even just the great feeling of knowing that you've done just a little something for somebody else and you've put them first before you, but it's also being able to have that experience and realize, whoa, this dude is just like really hungry and is asking me. He's got to go out of his comfort zone to ask me to go buy him some food. That's gotta suck. That has got to be what are you dealing with? Because that's like probably the least of it. Like, what are you dealing with? I can't even imagine. So those perspective shifts are big, and I think being able to volunteer is an easy way to gain that perspective. Either way, whether it comes to grief, whether it comes to simply just trying to get more perspective in the life or a more positive situation, I think dealing with hard things in your life, the more experienced you are, the easier it is. And again, with students not being able to have that experience yet, gaining perspective in different ways will help them circumvent having the experience, to know what to do or know what to say. Because let's face it, we all know when we were in high school, we all had that moment or in our life, oh my God, my life is over. Oh my God. And now we look back on it and having experience/perspective, we know to say, wow, that was ridiculously not important. That did not matter one bit. And I can't believe I thought I did. But of course it did, because that's all you know. You have this box and that's it. That's what you got. Please, if you enjoyed and learned some things today, then let me know by hitting the like, hitting subscribe, and hitting the bell notification to be notified every time I release a new video. And if you like today's video, or if you've learned something from today's video, then you might want to also check out this one right over here.